Good morning. I don't know if my clock's right or not, but anyway, I didn't want to start too early. Um, I'm I may be a little bit early. I hadn't got little Linda here to tell me that the time, because my clocks are a little bit fast, so I didn't want to get on here too early. But good morning, Jennifer and Barb. I'm Mary with Sister Pinky Mouse Sisters in the Kitchen, and I am by myself today. I have tested negative one time, but I need to test negative a couple more times before we feel comfortable with us being together. Now, I don't know. We still may get together this week. I'm not sure, but we'll let you know. I just need to test negative again. I am feeling great. I'm still a little bit hoarse, but I think a lot of that is sinus drainage. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me this morning, and I am going to be making some boneless chicken thighs with potatoes and creamy gravy. This is the skinless, boneless thighs. There's 4 of them. Let me turn my skillet on and start getting it warm. But if you use bone-in thighs, then it takes longer to cook. So when I went to the store to get these boneless thighs, they didn't have any, so I went ahead and bought the ones with the bone in, and I was just going to take the bone out and use the bone to make my broth with and the skin. But then I went back again yesterday, and they had boneless, so I went ahead and got it. Now, I took as much of it as I could of the fat off. I took that fat, and then when I was cutting the fat off, I got a little bit of meat too, and I made my own broth. So that's what I made this morning. I made the chicken broth out of the fat, and I also used 1 teaspoon of the Tone's chicken broth base. So I got that already fixed, and I'm warming my skillet. Now I'm going to mix all my spices. This has a lot of spices, a lot of herbs in it. And I'm putting a 1/2 teaspoon of all of them. So I won't say a 1/2 teaspoon of this and that. Everything, all the spices are 1/2 teaspoon. I will start, and I'm going to mix them in a bowl, and then I'll sprinkle it over my chicken thighs. So I'm going to put some garlic powder. Like I said, I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm just going to mix it all together. I'm using oregano. This is a lot of spices, but it just flavors it really well. I've talked to my daughter this morning. I haven't talked to little Linda, so actually I don't know how she's feeling this morning. She's having a harder time with this than I did, and she had her shots. But it just affects different people different ways. Oh, I forgot to tell you, that was oregano, and this is basil. Did I just put basil? Yeah, I just put the basil in there. I need to think about what I'm doing here. Rosemary, I'm not real fond of rosemary, but I am going to put some in here. I don't all the time. I don't always use that because it's really strong, and I don't like using it. So I put a little bit of that in there. I put some dry mustard. This is like an herb gravy. That's what it'll make. But anyway, we'll put a little bit of mustard, dry mustard. Like I said, I did talk to Carla this morning, and she's feeling great. Now, she didn't take the COVID this time, like little Linda and me. Another 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. I did send the recipe to little Linda, but I don't know whether she's got it up on the page yet or not. So that's why I'm telling y'all the measurements. So, and then I'm putting some crushed red pepper, just kind of flavor it up a little bit. Crushed red pepper. And some ground thyme. Got my pan heating up. That was ground thyme. And then some salt and pepper. Okay. And all this is half a teaspoon. And then I'm just going to mix it up. And then I'm just going to coat this over the chicken. I did pat dry these chicken thighs. And like I said, there's 4 of them. They like about this size. They get done real quickly. So I'm just going to take my hand and just sprinkle the chicken thighs with all this mixture of herbs. And it'll flavor it really well. And I haven't put the oil in the skillet yet, so I need to do that. I've got the pan on. I've got it on medium. So and I'm using the little pressed garlic olive oil bottle. You squeeze it like this, and it has a measuring spoon up here, and it measures your oil. That is about a tablespoon. And so I'm going to squeeze it again. I get some more oil in there. Don't need much oil in here. You know what? That's teaspoons. I wanted tablespoons. So let me do another one. I just realized that measurements comes in teaspoons. So I'm going to put another little bit in there. Get my pan. This is a non-stick saute and steamer pan, and it's non-stick, so that oil just seems to, it doesn't stay in one place. I have to kind of work it around. And I'm going to put all of these spices on this chicken, all that I put in this little bowl. I want it to be seasoned good. And if you want to, you can actually season your chicken like this and let it sit. Of course, you cover it up, but let it sit overnight in the refrigerator. And that also is kind of same thing as marinade. Okay, I feel like I got them coated pretty good. I'm just going to add this to the gravy whenever I start cooking. So I'm just going to put my chicken in here. And these spices, the amounts of spices that you use, it depends on how much chicken you're cooking, for the proportions. So if you're doing more chicken, then you add more spices. Anything, in the same way by the oil. Anything that you that anytime you cook and you follow a recipe, you have to adjust it according to how much you are actually making. I'm gonna get that out of my way. Wash my hands. Chicken on it. Anyway, as I was telling you earlier, I talked to Carla this morning, and she didn't get sick, but she also, let me throw that in the trash. She also had already had COVID. She had COVID, I don't know, 6 months ago. So her immune system, I guess, kind of kicked in, and so she didn't take it, and I am so thankful she didn't, because she took care of me for the first week when I was the sickest, and then she had to go home and take care of her business, and of course see Bradley and Kenley and Ethan and Aaron and Jaden and all her grandkids up there. She went back so she could see them, and the day she went back home, she Bradley had a ball game, a little t-ball game. And so she just went straight to the field to where they were having the ball game. And Bradley, Carla was telling me, he was out on the field on a base, and when he seen Carla in the stands, he left that base, ran over there to the fence, and said, Nana, I'm so glad you're back. I missed you so much. And that just thrilled her to death. And then he took off running back to his base, but he just, he loves his Nana, that Bradley. And Kinley's the same way. She loves her too. Kinley is setting up in her crib now. She's growing. And we're going to cook this for about 5 minutes on one side, and then we'll flip it over and cook it for another few minutes. And like I said, it depends. Your timing of your cooking depends on how big your pieces are and how high you have your temperature. We'll just cook that for a few minutes. And then yesterday was Bradley's last game for the season. And he hit the ball and ran to the bases. They're little T-balls, and they're just in training. But Bradley does like to play ball. Now he gets really bored really easy. So Carla said on one of the games he was out in the field and he was just standing there. And Bradley he don't just stand very easily. And she looked out there, and that child was on the ground doing push-ups. He's Jeff, his stepdad, is teaching, and he's doing exercises. So Bradley's learning to do push-ups. And Carla said she looked out there in the field, and he was out there doing push-ups on the field because he was bored. That child, he has to be doing something. I guess he takes that after his granny and great-grandmother. Linda's home this morning, and I think she's going to be cooking tomorrow. I'm not sure what she's going to be cooking. I am going to, y'all all know that I had made several cakes for Linda's birthday party, and we postponed it to next month, and I'll let y'all know. I'm not going to tell y'all on this because I know she's watching, but we're going to do something special for her next month. But one of the cakes that I had cooked was a butterscotch cake. And so I've got company coming this weekend, and my granddaughter, I'm giving her my poo, my above ground poo. I'm giving it to her. She's got 4 children, and all of Carla's grandkids live pretty close. So I'm giving it to her, so they're coming this weekend to get it. So I said, I'm going to take that butterscotch cake out and just put the frosting on it. So that's what I'm going to, I may go live and give you, and let you watch me decorate it. It's going to be a really good cake. I may do that Friday. Anyway, I'm going to turn this over now. I'm not, it's got enough of sear on it that, and I'll show y'all. Some of the little pieces, when I was getting the, trimming the fat off, I cut some little pieces off. So, I do have a few little pieces. So, I'm trying not to move the camera no more than I have to because I don't want it to start messing up on me. So, anyway, I got to go to church this weekend. I enjoyed that tremendously. I was so excited to get to go to church. You know, when you used to going to church, your church family is just like family because you learn a lot about them. You pray with them, pray for them, and you just build a relationship. And I've been there for 26 years, so I seen a lot of people come and go. You know, we're living in some tough times right now. We really are. It's just so many things that gives people a reason to not attend church. And COVID made a big dent in things, and of course you can watch it live. We do have live. Our Sunday church does go live, but it's a difference to me. You know, I like to be there. I like to be in person. And I wore my mask Sunday because and although I tested negative, I still wanted to be safe for everyone else. So now this coming Sunday, our church is, it's called what we call the 5th Sunday of the month. And we used to do this all the time. And because when COVID hit, it kind of stopped. But on 5th Sundays, we'd have food. We'd serve food. So this Sunday is the 5th Sunday, and so we will be but we're doing it outside. We got a brother in the church that's going to make hamburgers and probably hot dogs. They usually do that. Sausage, they probably do that too. But we always do that on Memorial Day. Special holidays, the church cooks outside. We have a grill outside. And so we will be having that, and I am going to be making, I forgot about that. I'm going to be making I don't even know what it's called. It's a strawberry layered with angel food cake and all the berries and things. I'm going to take that for Sunday, because all the members, we provide the desserts and chips and salads or whatever, you know, everybody it's kind of like potluck, except the church provides the meat. So we'll have a good time fellowshipping and be outside, and all the men and the boys usually plays ball. We've got a ball field behind the church, so they usually play ball, and the kids, of course, it's a lot of concrete. The kids brings their bicycles, and you know, it's just a good fellowship time. So I will be, I might record some of that, you know, to let y'all know. That's a little bit about what we do outside of the kitchen. I know it's called Sisters in the Kitchen, but Linda and I have been discussing that we may do a little more videos of our everyday life, of things that we do. And so we're going to try that and see if y'all are interested. You might comment in your comments. Let us know whether you do want us to video times outside of the family. We are on our members page. We're going to do some extra videos on that besides on our Pinky Mouse page. So we need to get caught up, because our members page is supposed to have that extra exclusions. I can't even say it. I tell you what, y'all probably know by now that when I started to school, I couldn't talk plain, and I don't know. Some things I still never. I can't pronounce them correctly. So that's one reason that some things I can't pronounce correctly. Now, back then they didn't have a lot of the things that's available to students and kids nowadays. We didn't have the special eds, and we didn't have the special speech therapy and all that. I even had a hard time getting Chuck into speech therapy. I did finally get him in speech therapy, but it's just some things that I just don't say it correctly or as plain is what. I'm going to take these little pieces out because I know they're done. Thigh meat, my husband, that was his favorite meat. His favorite part of the chicken was the thighs and the legs, because he says, which is true, the dark meat is juicier than the white meat. My husband did not like breast because he said it was too dry. So I always eat the breast. You know how mothers do. Whatever nobody else wants, that's what you eat. So I learned to eat breast, chicken, white meat, because my husband and I think my two girls likes the dark meat. So that's and this chicken here, I'm finding this out as I'm cooking it. It was pretty thick pieces of meat. I should have taken a meat cleaver and thinned it out some. That's what you can do. If your meat's too thick and you want it to cook faster, put it on saran wrap, put your meat down, put saran wrap on top of it, and hit it with the meat cleaver. And it will thin your meat out. And I should have done this because this is taking a little bit longer than normal. And I want to make sure this chicken is done. So I cooked it to 7 minutes, but I'm going to cook it a little bit longer. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the lid on it because that will help steam it through. I'm going to put the lid on it and let that cook a little bit longer because I want it to get thicker. And I've been, I don't know, y'all are probably, I guess I'm getting really personal here, but y'all probably noticed I have a bump on my tongue. And I've had it on there since 1989. That was when, no, it was 1990. I had major surgery. And whenever they always put the tube down your throat to put you to sleep. Well, when they pulled that tube out of my mouth, they pulled my front tooth loose. I mean, really loose. And I didn't know it at the time. I don't know if that's still the way it is today or not. I really don't know. But when you have surgery, you sign a paper that they're not responsible for any dental work. And I didn't know that. Of course, who thinks about that, you know? So they pulled that tooth loose, and I told the doctor about it, and they said they weren't liable for it, and that's when he told me. So I spent a lot of visits at the dentist office because that tooth, we were trying to save it, but it did tighten up some, but when it did, it kind of overlapped my other front tooth a little bit. It messed up my bite, totally messed up my bite. And I bit my tongue. I bit my tongue, and that's what made this bump on my tongue. I bit, and it hurt like everything. Anyway, the reason that I'm saying this is because, which I later had to have that tooth pulled. But anyway, when I got COVID, it messed up I could still smell and I could still taste, but bitter. My whole entire mouth was so bitter. My tongue was bitter, and it made that little bump hurt like everything. I don't know why. It's a little better now, but I mean, that was very painful. I don't know. I don't understand it. I have a doctor's appointment June the 7th, and I'm going to ask her about it. And some of y'all may know, is it such a thing as removing that little bump? I don't know. And I don't know if it would be something that I would even consider. I don't know. But since it's been bothering me after all these years, I thought I would check into it. So I don't know. It doesn't bother me other than the looks of it. But except for since I've had COVID, I just had that bitter, 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 bitter taste in my mouth. I'm going to check this meat. I think that it's done. It's I'm gonna take this lid off now I'm gonna cut into it and make sure. I do not want this chicken to not be done. So I'm gonna pick a piece that is thick and make sure. It is done. So I'm gonna take it up. See what I did with my plate. Oh, here it is. I'm going to take this up. And because I put the lid on it, you know how it causes a little bit of moisture. But that's okay too. I'm going to take it up. It is done, and I will be putting this back in the gravy. So, all right, we're going to set that aside. And I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of butter in here. I'm just going to put it right in the same pan because I'm going to make a little gravy. Let me see here. And then I'm going to put the same amount of flour as you do butter. And I'm going to swish it around. You don't want to brown this gravy. You just want it to, cook that flour. And as soon as that butter melts, it'll start, I'll cook it a little bit. And anyway, like I said, I don't know whether or not it's such a thing as having that bump removed or not. But I'm going to also put, and I didn't put this in the recipe, but I am going to put a little bit of garlic, minced garlic. Just a tad, not much. I'm wanting to season this gravy up really well. And I'm going to put some potatoes in here, and I'll show you the kind I got. It's a little small. Let's see, they're called baby red potatoes. Baby red potatoes. See how small they are? Because I don't want that. I want them to get done quick. So I've got little bitty ones. I did not peel them. I've washed them, and some of them that was a little big, I just cut them in half. But I'm going to cook this in the gravy. So I'm gonna get my milk out. This is my my chicken broth. I told you that I cooked the skin off of this. Not the skin. Well, it was some of the fat. I used in a teaspoon of chicken base, Tone's chicken base, and made this morning. Now, in the recipe, I put 2 cups, but I've got this. See, I'm not browning the gravy. I've just got it to cook the flour for a few minutes. I'm going to put this in here, and that's about 2 cups. I may have to add more, but I'm going to cook it and judge the thickness of it. Get that started. And I'm also going to put the rest of my herbs in here, what I didn't use on the chicken. I'm going to turn my burner up a little bit to let it start getting a little thick before I add that milk. It's heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to put a cup. I'll put a cup of heavy whipping cream in here. Put this back in the refrigerator. See, it's starting to get thick. So I want to put, I don't want this gravy real thick at first because I'm cooking the potatoes. And you know, you put potatoes in something that you're cooking that's thick, and it's not going to cook. It's going to take a lot longer to cook. So I'm going to stir this around and get that all stirred good. And I may add some more broth because I don't want this real thick, because I want them potatoes to cook. And like I said, I've got, this is about, it's about a pound. And like again, depends on how much you want is how many you put in here. So I'm going to put these potatoes in here. And I don't want to just throw them in here because it'll spill. I don't want to fill the pot full of the potatoes because I've got to put that I'm gonna put the chicken back in here. I'm gonna add a little more pepper to this too. May even add a little more salt, just a pinch of salt, because the potatoes does take a lot, and I'm putting more black pepper in it. Now I'm going to turn it down because I want those potatoes to cook for about 10 minutes. So I'm putting the lid on it, turning it down. And while, well, I'm going to put the rest of this milk in there. Let me get a spatula. Get all that cream, that heavy cream. And if you don't have heavy cream, you can use evaporated milk or regular milk. It's just, use what you got, you know. When it's in the same category, you just do that. So we're going to cook them potatoes for about 10 minutes, and then I will know whether I'll need some more broth. Now, I'm going to shred some Parmesan cheese. And let's see, where's my shredder? Oh, here it is. Here's my bowl. Get this out of the way. Poor Linda. She has done such a good job videoing by herself, because I guess if we started out that way, it might not have been so hard, because I know lots of people do. But since we started out together, it sure makes a difference when you don't have someone to help you. So I'm just taking this Parmesan cheese, and let me see if I can move this camera so y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm just using our shredder, and I'm going to shred this Parmesan, because after I get it done, I add this. And this right here won't be quite a cup. I put in the recipe a cup, but this is actually, let's see, I think this is like 5 ounces, and a cup is 8 ounces. So it's not quite as much Parmesan as I usually put in, but I didn't want to buy another one, because that's one thing that I use, that I don't use a lot of Parmesan, and I wind up throwing it away. So I don't want to I didn't want to do that. So I just got one package, but it makes a difference in the taste of the gravy. It's just kind of like an herb gravy. So anyway, Carla's coming back. My grandson is graduating on Friday night, and my great-granddaughter is graduating in Oklahoma on June the 4th. I don't know that I'll be able to go to it or not. I'm still a little bit shy about getting out in public. When you travel, you have to go and stop for the bathroom break, and so I'm not sure that I'm going to make it. And I don't want to tire myself out either. I'm doing so good, so I don't want to press my luck, you might say. But I'm looking forward to going to Nathan's graduation. He's such a smart kid. But, you know, a kid he just has, I don't know, he just, I don't know how to say it without making it sound terrible, but his mom and daddy, their divorce affected him a lot worse. You know, kids, they just, every child, it affects them different. And so he struggled with that. So every once in a while, he would just get, but don't want to. And I don't know if that was for rebellion or what. But anyway, he would he'd get discouraged, and really just, didn't know if he wanted to, what he wanted to do with his life. But with a lot of encouragement and prayer and everything, the teacher said he is so smart. One of the teachers told him if he wanted to, he could be valedictorian of his senior class. That's how smart he is. He got a little bit behind because he had the don't want tos, and I think it was several weeks that he just didn't have the don't want tos. You want that child done? He sat up all night long and did every one of those assignments in one night. And that's how smart he is. And he said he wanted to get it through. And that's what he liked being able to graduate. He did every one of them that he was supposed to have done. So hey, and he doesn't make just barely passing. He makes good grades. So, it's just one of those things that you have to encourage a child to keep going and keep on going, whether they got that drive or not. So, all right, those are not done yet. I'll stick them with the fork in a minute, but I grated all the Parmesan, and I'm gonna put the lid on that because I don't want it to dry out. This is our little new little bows with the cutting mat. So I'm just gonna put that lid on there to keep it from drying out until these potatoes get a little done. And anyway, I appreciate all y'all's prayers during all this time. It has been God. It has really been God that has helped me not get worse than what I was. And I did a lot of praying, of course, along with y'all's prayers. When you lay in the bed, you have plenty of time to do that. And I think about how the Lord has blessed Linda and I. We started this a year and a half ago, and we had no idea. Didn't know what we were doing, to tell you the truth. We just wanted to get on here and watch videos. And matter of fact, I go back every so often and look at the first videos that we done. All of y'all that would want to see them, they're on our Facebook page. You just have to scroll down, and it's a lot of difference. We've come a long way since we first started. It really didn't bother me being on camera. The longer I do it, the more it bothers me. I don't know why. But when I first started doing it, I guess it's because I was just visiting with my sister, which that's what I wanted to do to begin with. And it just didn't bother me. And now I feel like I got so many people watching me till I have to, it kind of bothers me a little bit like it does Carla. But we've met so many nice people. They're not quite done yet. Those potatoes. And I am going to add the rest of that broth because I want it, the more liquid, the thinner the liquid is, the quicker those potatoes get done. Because I want it to boil, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to turn that burner up and let her boil a few minutes. But this is the chicken breast. Not chicken breast, chicken thighs. That's how I cooked them. Did not put any flour on them. Just seasoning. Just the seasoning. And we'll put it back in this gravy when these potatoes get done. Which they'll be done in probably another 5 minutes. Since I put that extra broth in there. The longer you cook it, the thicker the gravy's going to get. So it depends on how thick you want it. when you're cooking, it is with me. I may think that I'm gonna do it one way, and right in the middle of it, I may change my mind, add something, or do a little bit more, because I go by the way something looks, or according to what I add or take away from. So anyway, I think we may go live Thursday and let Linda open the cards that she has already gotten, her birthday cards. I just I want y'all to know, and it's just been, things have just got so messed up, and I want y'all to know that she appreciates y'all sending her cards and the gifts. So we will be opening those on camera on Thursday if everything's okay. I've got to take another test to make sure I'm negative, but we should be together Thursday if nothing happens. Also, I forgot her name now. I think it's Sheila. You sent a package, and we're going to, that's for both of us, and we will open that on camera. Since Linda and I haven't been together in so long, I thought, well, we'll open this gift together. So that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna taste of that to see if I got enough salt and pepper in that. Because I did not put much, but I did put those seasonings in it. So I'm gonna taste it and see if I need to add anything else. No, does not need any more salt and pepper. It's perfect. Good taste. Those seasonings are so just right. It's not over seasoned or spices. It is delicious. Got a little bit of tang of spice, hot, and it's those red peppers. But remember, I only put a half a teaspoon. All the spices is a half a teaspoon. I'll go over that with you again. I put onion powder, rosemary, dry mustard, garlic powder, basil, oregano, and crushed peppers, and I added about probably a fourth a teaspoon of minced garlic when I started making the gravy. So that is, oh yes, and I forgot this one, thyme. Thyme, I guess that's how you say it. So that's the spices, and then equal amount of flour and butter to make your gravy, and then a cup of the heavy cream, and I wind up putting 3 cups of broth. Now I'll tell you what you could do if you wanted make sure that your potatoes got done quicker. The broth that you're putting into the gravy, you could have put those potatoes in that broth and cooked them till they got tender, then added it to the gravy. So there's so many ways that you can do, and I probably would have done that if I'd have just given it a head thought. But they will get done. But if you really want something quick, just boil your potatoes in your broth, and they will be done, and then you can put it in with your gravy. I was just thinking, when I decided to make these chicken thighs, I've had it on my calendar for 2 months to make this, and I said, I don't want to just make thighs and gravy. I need something to go with it. So I said, you know what? First of all, I thought I'll make some mashed potatoes, some cream potatoes, and then I said, no, you know what? I'm going to put them potatoes in the gravy, because it'll just all be together. You add a salad or something, and you've got a meal. You got your potatoes, gravy, and meat. So it's a real good recipe. I'm going to stick these with a fork to see if these potatoes are getting done. They're rolling with me. They won't let me stick my fork. Yeah, they're done. See there? They're done. I stuck my fork in it. So the potatoes are done. So now I'm going to put the chicken thighs back in the gravy. And that broth that came off of the chicken thighs, I'm putting it right in the gravy. All that good stuff. Don't ever, when you cook your meat and you plan on making gravy, don't ever clean your skillet after you cook meat. Use all those crispy drippings and all that where you fried your meat. Use that in your gravy because that's what makes your gravy extra, extra delicious. So I'm going to put the lid on that, and I'm going to just, so the meat will kind of get flavored in with the gravy. I'm going to let it cook for about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to put the Parmesan cheese in it and cook it another 5 minutes, and meal is done. And like I said, you can do this a lot faster than an hour, and you'll have your whole meal if you plan ahead and cook those potatoes in your chicken broth. So we're just going to let that simmer for about 5 minutes, and then I'll put the cheese in there. Let me see. Linda always, she can read the questions. I don't see any questions, but I do want to know if y'all ever heard of anybody having a bump on their tongue and if it can be removed, or if it's something that I would even consider. I'm not sure. It's very painful. I know that has been lately. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but what I'm thinking is that I have bit that place again. I'm not sure that's what happened, but I think that might have been what happened that's caused all the pain. Plus my tongue being so bitter. I tell you, when I first got COVID and I tested positive, I called my doctor. And instead of her wanting me to come in, she wanted to do a Zoom telephone visit, and that's what we done. And she prescribed me some oral COVID medicine. And you take 3 pills in the morning and 3 pills in the evening, and they're all different ingredients, and all 3 of those pills is different things. This is the same thing oral that they give in the hospital in IVs to people with COVID. And so I took that first dose that morning. Carla was here at 9:30 in the morning. By 11:30, I was sick as I could be. I mean, I was sick. I was in my bedroom, and Carla was out on the porch. And I walked out there on the porch, and I said, Carla, I'm not feeling well. And I sit down in the rocker, and I could just feel myself getting weak. And I was so nauseated. And that bitter was all in my mouth so bad. It was just really, really bad. And so I sat there in the rocking chair a few minutes, and then I couldn't even keep my eyes open. I was about to pass out. It scared her so bad. And then I was so nauseated that she had to go get me a garbage can, and I got some of it up. But she took my blood pressure. My blood pressure dropped. My oxygen level went down to 84, and I was about to pass out. And after about 20 minutes, she got me back to the bed, and we were fixing to call the doctor. My daughters was fixing to come get me if I didn't go to the hospital. And but after I lay in the bed a few minutes, I started to get the feeling a little bit better, and I heard Carla on the phone, and I didn't know all this, but I heard her on the phone saying, Mother's color is coming back. So then they checked my oxygen again, and it had come up to 90, and then every a few minutes it kept coming back. But I want you to know, I did not take no more of that medicine. I don't know if that's what happens to people in the hospital. They inject this stuff in them, and it kills them. But that was going to kill me, because I felt like I was fixing to die. That was so bad. But it left that gall taste in my mouth for over a week. I mean, it was, I just, nothing tasted good. Nothing. It wasn't, I didn't lose my taste or smell. I didn't lose it. But I want you to know, I still had that bitter taste. Okay, So now I'm putting all the Parmesan cheese in here. And this was 5 ounces. And I'm gonna turn my burner down. All I want on this Parmesan cheese actually is just a melt. That's all I want, is just for it to melt. And I'm gonna cook it for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna plate it. We're gonna dish it up. So anyway, I guess I said all that. I'm telling y'all all about what's happened in my life in the last 2 weeks. I don't advise it. Now, my doctor does not know I did not take that medicine. My body is so different from a lot of people. I can't take just any kind of medicine. For one thing, I grew up not taking medicine. I did not, my mother would have to, she would stand there with a teaspoon of medicine trying to get me to take it. She'd stand there for 20 minutes before she made me take it, because I did not take medicine. When I was pregnant with my first child, Carla, I didn't even take as much as a Tylenol. And I had headaches my whole 9 months. I did not take 1 dose of any medicine the whole 9 months. Now, I do take medicine today because I have to. I have high blood pressure, and I have acid reflux, and I have arthritis. So that's what's wrong with me. Nothing terminally bad, but I don't take much medicine for my age. So when I take something as strong as what that COVID medicine was, that to me, this is my opinion, that medicine is strong for people who their system is accustomed to taking strong medicine. Mine is not, and that stuff was too strong for me. So when I go back to my doctor on the 7th, I will tell her. I want her to know that what it did to me. Of course, she knows that my system can't handle medicine. She knows that. And she hesitated about giving it to me. But at the same time, she was trying to help me too. So I did take those first COVID shots, and I did that because I was pressured into it. But it probably did help me. I was sick. Both the shots made me sick, but not really sick, not really bad. So anyway, that's me. Everybody has their own way of taking medicine. Their own body reacts to medicine different. So I'm just here to tell you that I did not take that COVID medicine. And I'm glad I had enough sense not to, and I thank the Lord that it did not do anything worse to me than that. Okay, I'm going to turn this burner off. And I'm going to get all this off the cabinet. I'm going to put it in this bowl here. Get me a spoon. Let me see if y'all can, well, I'll show it closer when I get it in there. But this is I tell you what, I'm going to spoon this in there until I get some of it out, because it is heavy and I don't want to drop it on camera. I wouldn't want to drop it anywhere, to tell you the truth. I appreciate y'all's prayers during all this COVID and things that we were going through. I really do appreciate it. And I know that y'all's prayers helped pull me through. I know that. Not a doubt in my mind. I think I can pick it up now. See, these skillets are so nice. I mean, the food just comes right out of it and doesn't stick. Just wonderful. See how clean the skillet just with this non-stick? Okay, now this is a lot of gravy. This is a lot of gravy, but I wanted a lot of gravy. And if you don't want this much, don't put that much broth in it, because it's got an extra cup of broth in it that I do not have on the recipe. Let me see. Can you see it? Let me see if I can swap those. I guess. There is my chicken thighs with potatoes and gravy. Of course, I like a lot of gravy. I'm going to get a plate. Put me a piece of this will feed 4 to 6 people. There's 4 pieces of meat, but they're big pieces of meat, so it easily feed 4. And it's a lot of gravy. So if you got rolls or biscuits. And I'm going to taste this. I got stuck. I'm going to taste it. You don't have to, let me get a knife. I'll taste it. I don't want to put a lot in my mouth because it's really hot. And if you want to peel your potatoes, see the potatoes are just really done. I'm going to take a bite of the potatoes first. Very, very good. And then this meat is very, very hot. Very, very good. I hope this is something that you all might want to try. And again, depending on how much you want to make is the proportions that you cook. So I hope that y'all enjoy this. I hope that y'all have a very, very blessed day. I miss my sister, but hopefully after I get tested negative again, that we'll be back together again. And just don't forget to count your blessings. Every day you can find something to thank the Lord for. And that is, I think that's what's wrong with the world today is all they can see is what's going around them and all the negativity right now. And if you just start counting your blessings, start thinking about all the things that God has done for you and is doing for you now and what he's going to. Hey, if you're specifically asking for something, start thanking him for it. Thank him. Don't you think that would work in our earthly situation? If a child is asking their parent for something and wanting, and then they start thanking them for it, thank you, Mama, because I know you're gonna get this for me. I thank you. I think that would influence us parents a little bit. So our Heavenly Father's the same way. Start praising him for it and thanking him for it. I hope that y'all have a blessed day. It's not raining here today. It's supposed to. And I noticed that somebody said on there that it was raining cats and dogs there today. It's not here now, but it's going to. I'm looking out the window. It's a little cloudy, and it's a little cooler than we've been having temperatures in the 90s. And I think it was in the, this morning it was in the 50s. So anyway, thank the Lord for the weather. We have it seasonal. We have all kinds of weather everywhere. But you know what? We can always find something to thank him for. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all following us and hanging in there with us and all your prayers and all the cards. Oh, so many of y'all sent me get well cards. I forgot to thank y'all. Thank you for the Get Well cards. I saved those cards. I got so many of them. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with them, but I am going to find something to do with all those cards. I love y'all. Don't forget to count your blessings. Bye-bye. See you Thursday, and Linda will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.